Okay, but he did that. I mean, I'm sure he does that a lot, and that's why Sally said this, but that must be really inconvenient for him then. I can understand why Scourge is a Casanova, because right here, this is him basically acting like that. How is he not obedient? Seriously, what has Sonic done to show that he's not obedient? I can only think of one time. Granted, I'm not extremely versed on every single detail of the comics, but in general, I can't imagine Sonic being not obedient. I can only imagine him just being like everyone else and doing everything Sally says because she's the leader. Double prints? I guess he means double pictures, like two pictures look exactly the same. Mermaid camera. So, once again, Casanovas. Also, I heard that in the 25 years later future comic, it was revealed that Rotor was not really into chicks, which seems to come out of nowhere. I don't have a problem with that, but then why is he all happy and stuff? Like, why is he all acting like a Casanova over a mermaid thing? Is he just doing it for show, or is he not really aware yet? I don't know. I don't know what pun this is supposed to be. Is there supposed to be a mermaid camera brand that I'm not aware of? And it's not actually supposed to look like a literal camera with a mermaid on top of it? Or, oh, right. Nice aerial photography. I guess he's referring to Ariel as in from Little, like, does the Little Mermaid exist on Mobius too? I mean, wouldn't they have such a despair-filled, bleak situation that they wouldn't have the time to watch Disney movies like Little Mermaid, or even have like pop culture, like where they can just safely go to the movies and not have to worry about Eggman attacking them? Are people still able to make movies like that in such a grim, dark, bleak world where Eggman's just destroying everything? I don't know. I guess so. That's a weird looking silhouette. I don't know if Sonic really looks that good from the front. Or maybe he does and they just completely screwed up. I guess it makes sense that Eggman would figure out that knothole's underground since he can't find it anywhere. But yeah, this looks like a pretty inconvenient tunnel to travel through from below. I guess they are using a spring. Like, again, another game reference. And not just a reference, but they're actually using something that's in the games. Don't really get this phrase. I never actually heard it before. But yeah, it seems like, I guess people are perfectly fine with using a spring to get out of the tunnel. But I'm only seeing the freedom fighters in there. Like, they're talking about Knothole as if it's an entire village of people, unless we'd have a whole bunch of random civilians in it. So are the random civilians perfectly fine with hitting the spring to get out there? Or do they ever get out there at all? Do they spend their entire time, like, underground? Seems like that would be kind of depressing. Oh yeah, I was thinking that there was someone missing. Okay, Sonic, why don't you just immediately run up to her at the speed of sound and trash these robots with the spin dash and spin jump? Why are you just standing there and doing nothing? He could have very easily stopped her from being roboticized, like halfway, by instead of just hiding behind the bushes, he just used his speed of sound to completely trash and knock over these SWAT bots. Am I expected to believe these SWAT bots have such high defenses that he'll just bang off them and he won't be able to knock them down? Bullshit. I do feel sorry for Bunny here though. Tied up. Why was he tied up in the first place? Oh, right, yeah, right. Because I guess he had to compensate for Rotor not having super speed. Yeah, that sounds like it would be pretty annoying, the whole Freedom Fighter concept with the Freedom Fighters don't have special powers. That was a big problem I had with the Freedom Fighters for a long time. They don't have special powers, so how do they deserve to be his friends? I mean, I'm over that now. But it just seems very inconvenient that Sonic can run a lot faster than they can. Oh, these robots are actually pretty human-like. Why would Robotnik bother to program them to be like that? Yet to believe in robots being people. Do they have free will? Why isn't this being made a big deal out of? But yeah, my point was, Sonic can easily leave behind all the Freedom Fighters in the dust. So you'd think that he would be just sent on completely alone mission, so that the Freedom Fighters would hold him back by forcing him to move slow, and thus get to his destination a lot slower. So why is Rotor coming along with him? Why didn't he do this earlier? If he could do this earlier, why did he just sit there and let this happen? And seriously, you think with all the drama and the late pre-reboot comics, you'd think that Bunnie would be more obvious about the fact that it's his fault. I mean, I guess she wouldn't know that, but because she didn't see him, but Rotor would know that. I guess Rotor is nice enough to not hold this against him. But why aren't any of them blaming themselves when this is very obviously their fault? Seriously? I feel sorry for her here. How is she hurt? It's never really explained how. All was by using her. So I'm guessing they're assuming that she has a tracking device. That they have tracking devices in mechanical mentality. So I guess, like in the reboot, it was more focused on Rotor being like, you gotta shoot the dog. That kind of morality. The ends justify the means. A lot more pragmatic and rational of a person. And here he's showing that right from the first issue, or I guess the second issue. Like Sonic wants to help her, and he's objecting to that for a logical reason. Even if it does seem pretty heartless. I mean, you can't just leave her there. It's good that Sonic's all worried and stuff, because, like, again, that makes him a lot more sympathetic, considering, like, if he was just annoying, like, if he was just about bullying Antoine and being a brat to Eggman, who deserves it, if he was just the way he is in the first issue, then he wouldn't be a good character. So it's good that he was worried about Bunnie. But Bunnie doesn't really seem to be worried. This is the biggest problem right here. This is the biggest example of how kiddie the comics used to be. How kiddie they started out. How confused their tone was. Why isn't she worried or sad or angsty or anything like that about being turned half robot? Did she not know? Like, she has so much angst about being half robot earlier, and like she has so much angst about it in like a later part of the comic. But here she doesn't seem to care at all. She seems to be just, I mean, she should logically be happy about this, because she's right, it does make her super strong. And like, Sally has every reason to be impressed. But later on, she has angst about it. She's like, oh, look at what this does to your social life. So, it seems inconsistent. But I guess logically she should be focusing more on the negative side of things. But at least focusing, not necessarily focusing, but at least keeping that in mind. Instead of just brushing it completely under the rug and going, oh no, this is fine. Who cares? I don't know. So she flirts with Sonic right away. I like Sonic's response to that. This is a genuinely humorous situation. And I really love this. It makes perfect sense that she would... I don't really like the hairdresser line. That seems to come completely out of nowhere. I mean, she seems like a tomboy here, because why would a non-tomboy girl be all happy about, I'm super strong? Like, why would they be extremely excited about that? She looks like a tomboy here, and that's probably why someone's not interested. But hairdresser, that just seems to come out of complete nowhere. I mean, her character hasn't been established yet, so nothing comes out of nowhere at this point. But in retrospect, this seems to be really stupid learning. But the rest of it is really good. I don't understand why she would have Sally as her hero instead of Sonic. I mean, Sally doesn't really do anything. I mean, she's a leader, she makes plans, which is very good, but Sonic is the one actually doing the action. So you think that she would admire Sonic too, and recognize him on sight too. I'm saying that this is good because she's the princess, so it makes sense that she would bow to her. I like the concept of Sally being treated like a princess, because that's her identity. That's part of what makes her, that's her, you know? And here comes Antoine running in because he's worried about the situation. So once again, them taking it seriously. I see. Once again, like, this is actually, like, foreshadowing right from the second issue. Or maybe it's the third issue. But the point is, like, it makes sense that they would end up married later in the comic because right away she shows interest. Or at least her lines seem to show interest. I mean, her off-model facial expression doesn't really seem to be that interested. And then again, she did flirt with Sonic when she first saw him right away. But still. Colors never made me laugh this much. See, this is genre setting. Makes me wonder why he didn't do this a long time ago, like, or why he never did this in the game. If Sonic had to deal with giant badniks in the games, I mean bigger than the ones in that one mission in Sonic Generations. Makes sense that she would want to get involved in the action right away, because she respects Sally, so she would want to help her. Who and what? That's insensitive. And Rotor, his response isn't exactly sensitive either. But at the very least, he's impressed by her. So once again, that's foreshadowing. He takes interest in her right away. Even though at this point in the comic, he apparently is also into Sally for some reason. But yeah, it's like, this is brilliant. Like, they foreshadow important stuff that happens way later. Or maybe it's not, maybe it's just looking at it in hindsight. Maybe it wasn't supposed to mean anything at the time. So does Bunnie have super speed? I mean, I remember her not having super speed. No, it may be mentioned that she doesn't. Again, hairdressing. What is it with her and hairdressing? Is this ever mentioned again? I guess she's not entirely a tomboy, which I'm fine with, but I like her accent. Okay, isn't the apostrophe supposed to be before the A in y'all? But yeah, I like her accent. It gives her her own unique identity, even if it is basically just stereotypical Texas tough girl. And like I like how she has a unique way of speaking, and it doesn't seem to be hard to understand what she's saying. And I've never had a problem with understanding Antoine so far either. Even though his whole personality is supposed to be bad at English. But I guess it's not. I guess his whole personality right now is supposed to just be arrogant. And that's it. So he's not that insensitive yet. I like how he's creating a tornado here. Like in Sonic Heroes, he creates a tornado in the same way, doesn't he? Only he does it on the ground here, which makes more sense than him magically floating above the ground to create a tornado above the ground. And making you wonder why he doesn't just float over the entire level. But yeah, this is good. I love it whenever Sonic uses wind power as the logical extension of his super speed. What is this? What? I don't really like this line. I mean, where does it come from? I mean, you've only known Sally for a very brief amount of time. I mean, somehow you could already tell that she has designs on Sonic already. And what provoked her to actually say that? So what's she worried about? This is the problem with having a comic format. Is you can't really tell what's about to happen. I just don't understand why, like right here, he creates a tornado, but it's not around the Burrobot itself. Idiot! Why didn't he create it around the Burrobot instead of to the side of it and being completely useless? You think common sense would dictate that you create a tornado around the robot and not just to the side of it being useless? I mean, it's not a hero. Sonic had no problem with creating a tornado around robots every single time. That's basic logic. And I see that even the giant Badnik that's only made for the purpose of destroying woods will be able to talk too. For no reason. Really? They have to make the text upside down so that I can't read it? I don't know how you... I don't know if you can rotate this in Sonic Mega Collection so that you can read it upside down, but anyway, that is a dick move. I guess that's perfectly fine, but it's still tedious having to, turn the comic itself upside down so you can read it. I guess it's... this is really cool. That, Bunnie's showing that she's very capable right away. She actually stands up for Sonic. I don't really... I mean, I picture Sonic as being a lot more powerful than all the freedom fighters because, in fact, they can run at speed of sound. And as a result, he can just run into something with Sonic speed and smash into it. And you think that he would basically be able to annihilate everything in his path. Because this is a medium, we're going to have to ignore the idea that you smash into something at full force, you're going to get hurt. Like how in real life, if you punch something, your fist is going to get hurt. Because your fist is not magical, immune to everything, and made of metal. So that's not a drawback that Sonic would have to deal with, slamming into something really fast. So he doesn't really have that as an excuse. Why did... I mean, I guess that was the excuse. He couldn't just spin dash through this thing, because maybe the metal was just too hard. But, I don't know. I like that Bunnie is being useful here. Being a badass right away, having a great establishing character moment right away. This is good for her. She's proving herself to be a capable freedom fighter right away, so that's good for her reputation. I just don't know about making her stronger than Sonic here. I mean, it's good that she's making use of her super strength, but Sonic is basically made to look like a complete wimp and a total idiot, just so that Bunnie could be awesome. I mean, couldn't they both be awesome? Why are you surprised by this? I mean, I guess it is more impressive to see this in person, but you think Sonic would be world famous for being a really fast hedgehog. I guess we're gonna have to get used to her saying meaningless Texas idioms. I'm not really sure if they actually do say this in Texas. I've never been there. I was going to say that he was going to be smart and I was going to say that he should have created the tornado around him the first time. But then turned out instead he was doing this, which is another creative use of super speed. So far I'm seeing a lot of creative uses up to this point of the ability Sonic has in the games. He creates a tornado with super speed, he shows off the spin jump, he spin dashes through swap bots. They could have very easily not bothered with any of this at all. But instead, they think of the realistic consequences of running around something at high speed, And this is the result. I just pictured the Burrobot literally comically toppling over to the side and falling into it. I'm not really sure how the hole that he created just magically disappeared though. That doesn't make any sense. Why would that bury the beast? Did he slam onto the ground, blow it so hard that it lifted up a whole bunch of dust and magically buried itself? I don't understand why it would get buried. And why did she call it a beast? I mean, a beastie. I mean, it's clearly a robot. You can see it's metal. Why would she call it a beast? That's bad writing. For the most part, this comic seems to be pretty well written. I'm not really noticing any actual problems that aren't logic nitpicks from someone overthinking it. Aww. You just want to be a hairdresser. Again! Just assume it's Robotnik's room. So I guess that's the explanation for why she needs to stop caring about that. Which is good because, again, it seems to come completely out of nowhere. It's completely consistent with everything we're showing about her. So they explain a lot later in the comic that the reason why Antoine, when he's scared, sometimes his yellow hair just flies upwards. That's not actually a comical animation, that's actually the fact that he was just wearing a wig. Apparently that actually proved that he does have a wig really early on in the comic. So why did they reveal that as if that was something we didn't know much later in the comic? But yeah, this is pretty dickish of Sonic. It's, again, back to that, it's explained that the reason that he actually has a wig is because Sonic burned off his hair as a prank. You can tell that he isn't really that different from his evil twin. Because that's easily something I could picture Scourge doing. Like, it really makes you wonder, Scourge could have very easily have been a hero. He could have very easily have been, like, if he had a villain to fight, would he have been a villain? Because Scourge and Sonic don't really seem to be all that different, aside from Sonic being really worried about Bunnie at one point. That seems to be the only actual hero trait that he's shown.